Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
Brianna, you're up.
Right,
So
I know.
impressive.
Right, the fact that you can associate it. So now you're just diving beyond the football.
Heal the world. Okay, sorry.
Put a Band-Aid on the planet. Got to do it.
Got to.
Time for the lead block.
Lead block.
Andy Reid is no stranger to Philadelphia.
Andy was watching.
Yeah, he probably was. He became the Eagles' winningest head coach over his 14 years there and took the Birds to Super Bowl 39 where they fell to the Patriots. Andy Reid has since found Super Bowl success with the Kansas City Chiefs. Coach was asked if it would be harder facing Philadelphia because of his history with the team.
That's not where your mind's at. Your mind's at making sure you have a solid game plan and that you come out and you can perform. I mean, that's to the best of our ability. And that's, I think, where the major focus goes. And you try to, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You try to blank out all the hype that goes with the game. It's pretty big game. For everybody, you guys included. It's a big deal, man. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. So, but you try to blank that out and make sure that you're getting the game plan, what really matters together.
Andy Reid has a true touch and finesse to how to describe this momentous occasion, not just for any team he has coached, but this one in particular, and for everybody involved. He has a genuine love and respect for the Eagles organization. But as we mentioned, he's moved on and found his time with the Chiefs. Now, of course, Super Bowl is a big deal no matter who's involved, whatnot. But does facing the Eagles make Super Bowl 57 a more significant one for Andy Reid?
Of course.
Oh, you think?
Of course. I mean, like you said, there's one thing to make it to the Super Bowl, but when you're with an organization for as long as Andy Reid was there. He was there for 14 seasons, and he accomplished some great things while he was there with the Eagles. You see it right there on the screen, 130 wins with that organization, which is by far more than the next coach was 63. So what he did there, 9 playoff appearances, 6 division titles, he was dominant in his time there, and he leaves that organization in 2012 as they move on to hire Chip Kelly, and then he goes on to Kansas City and has even more success. So I think for him, like he said, the preparation, the 2 weeks leading up, it's on the back of your mind, but it's not a focus. You're getting ready for the game. You want to win a Super Bowl. But then you go out there for the game in Arizona and you look across and you see that green on the uniforms, on the coaches. You see that eagle emblem on their jackets and polos, and it brings back so many memories of you being there, you wearing that, you being a part of that organization that you want to win. You're married with somebody for 14 years. You leave, they leave. You both find somebody happy. You're successful, but you don't want to lose to them. There's no way in hell. So I think for sure this makes it loom a little bit more. You want to win this game. You want to look back and say, yeah, like the Eagles, they let me go, but I showed them in the end. And there's, of course, a lot of love, a lot of respect, but I think this one means a little more.
The competitor in Andy, of course, he wants to win. And when you see that logo, I can only imagine after working somewhere for 14 years, working another place 10 years, and then that, of all the 31 other teams, that's what is holding you back from a second Super Bowl. I was working as a sports writer and as a reporter during the final years of Andy in Philly, and it wasn't like he was blown out the building and everyone went. They missed the playoffs the last 2 years. They went 4-12 his last year, and it was one of those deals where like Jeffrey Lurie was like, I think this is best for both of us. We've done this now for 14 years, and Andy was upset. The story goes that they had like a cake waiting for him in like the cafeteria, and like every staff person was there crying like as Andy was let go that morning. And everyone thought he was going to take a year off. He was dealing with a real family tragedy, and he was going to take some time away, and he and Tammy did it. 3 days later, he's hired by the Chiefs. He's like, let's go. He's like, no, let's go. And he had this like spirit to him, and they went from being the worst team in football, the Chiefs, to going right to the playoffs that next year. And it's been 9 out of 10 seasons they go to the playoffs since he's gotten there. What's interesting about Andy and the Eagles is that it's not just Andy in the Eagles. Steve Spagnuolo was a longtime Eagles defensive coordinator, and now he's with him. Brett Veach, the general manager, was a longtime staff member in Philly. He's now in Kansas City with him. Rick Burkholder, the trainer, was a trainer in Philly. Go right down the list. Eric Bieniemy was a player for the Eagles in '99. Now he's obviously with the Chiefs. Matt Nagy was there. Greg Lewis was there. You go up and down the staff, and it's just Eagles people all over in Kansas City. So for me, is it significant? Yeah, it's significant, but it's not just significant for Andy Reid and his story. Just about every person in that Eagles staff has some sort of connection to Philly, and I think that there's going to be a real bond, and the story's going to come into here. Every individual person's connection to that Philadelphia Eagles franchise. Andy Reid, first and foremost.
I wish it was a terrible divorce with
It wasn't.
I wish it was awful, sanctimonious, throwing things, burning clothes. New Year's Eve 2012. Jeffrey Lurie, quote, "It is time for the Eagles to move in a new direction. We are very excited about the future." Peter says there was a cake. Of course he was excited. Chip Kelly was the most exciting coach in the world at that point. He was going to revolutionize the sport. They bring him in, and it worked. And I think you're right, Jason. Like, as much as I would love animosity, it was a divorce that was best for all parties, and the kids were happy. And Andy immediately goes to Kansas City and starts winning. We've all hit that, and I think if it had ended badly, it's like, yeah, I want to stick it to them. And there's certain owners out there who have fired coaches who have come back to beat them. But you know how you'd see these internet memes, and it's like, tired this, wired this. I'm going to say, tired, Andy used to coach the Eagles. Wired this. Give me the pick. Give me my wire to the Andy Reid tired. Give me the pick. There we go.
Oh,
that's the man right there. Sirianni with the Chiefs. And if you think he didn't have that trademark panache still that he has now,
that's good.
Give me the next pick. Look at this guy. This is a quality, bam, with the 6-shooter. 2009. He got an interview with Todd Haley, the Chiefs coach at the time. They knew each other because they both used to work out at the YMCA when Sirianni was in college. Haley brings him on, quality control, make coffee. Haley gets fired. Romeo Crennel comes on, and Rack likes Sirianni so much that he keeps him and promotes him to wide receivers coach. So now Sirianni is the wide receivers coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Romeo Crennel gets fired. Andy comes on, lets him go. Lets him go. Does not retain his services, brings in his own staff. So if you want any sort of animosity whatsoever, everybody loves Andy Reid, of course, but I have a blood vendetta between Nick Sirianni and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let him go. He fired his ass. And here he is now dancing on the Super Bowl. It's the Sirianni Bowl, if you ask me. Never mind Andy Reid. We've talked about that. Sirianni with the Chiefs is the story here.
Kyle, I know you'd be very interested to know that there is a wild TikTok trend going on right now.
Tell me.
With Selena Gomez's voice that says, I don't have a lot of drama going on right now. Should I make some drama? I think you just did. I think you just tapped into something. This is what you meant by innovative, original ideas. It's not just lazy takes talking about brothers during the Super Bowl week.
Research right there.
Not, right?
Well, the brother story, we just keep hitting repeat. That's my Selena Gomez lyric. Yeah.
Very good.
I love you like a love song, brothers.
I thought you were going to lean into my side of the table here with this one because I think because Andy Reid is so beloved and because he is such a fine class act of a gentleman, I don't think he cares who he's playing in the Super Bowl, and I don't think he should. I think after the fact, maybe he could give us like a little inch in one press conference. Let's say he does beat the Eagles. Maybe he could say, yeah, it felt a little bit better because it was Kelly Grade. But I think beforehand, I think you're just blind to the film. I think you're blind to preparing your guys. I know he has 12 days now to be thinking about it, but we all leaned into this whole Bengals trash talk. You're not going to get anything from this man over the next 12 days. So my mind says that it shouldn't matter. I don't think it does matter on the front end. I think if he accomplishes it, in his heart of hearts, it will matter. But I think if he gets beat by them, I don't think it hurts any more if it is the Philadelphia Eagles. You lose in the Super Bowl, you lose in the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who you lose to. I think the history is great, but I don't think this matters. I think it's a Super Bowl for crying out loud. He could be playing the Munich All-Stars, and it wouldn't matter. It would not matter. Yeah.
It's called, they play the game at State Farm Stadium.
Yeah.
We need someone on the Eagles to say it's Hertz Farm Stadium and rename the stadium. Yes, Hertz Farm Stadium is what I've got so far, right?
Yeah.
Trivia for you, all you guys. Who was the offensive coordinator in the 2012 Chiefs? Nick Sirianni was the wide receivers coach.
Was it McDermott?
Was not. Good guess.
And that wasn't Frank Reich, was it?
Not Frank Reich. No. Current head coach in the league.
Was it Zach Taylor?
It was not Zach Taylor. Brian Dable, offensive coordinator of the Chiefs.
Over the Chiefs.
And Sirianni was the wide receivers coach, and now.
Oh, that's good.
Brian
Dable's going to win Coach of the Year, I believe, too. Wow, how about that?
Sirianni might be hosting a Lombardi.